I wish he would say it like that. He doesn't say it like that. But what Heidegger is in fact saying, right, is you cannot make a reduction of the thing to our language, right? Language does not become the repository for metaphysics, right? Our cognitive linguistic semantics isn't the be-all, end-all for existence. And that is a huge, huge, huge grounds for discussion, right? If you believe it, if you don't believe it, nevertheless, you got to give Heidegger props for even being able to conceptualize it. Not an easy idea to even wrap your mind around. All right, so both sentence and thing structure derive in their typical form and their possible mutual relationship, the relationship between the sentence structure, the propositional structure, the epistemological structure, and the thing structure, the existence or the metaphysical structure. On many levels, hopefully you got that. Both of these things, in their typical form and their possible mutual relationship from a common and more original source, right? The idea is that both of these derive from a common, more original source. And we'll talk about what this thing is, right? This common, more original source is the sort of node of derivation for the thing structure and the sentence structure, but the thing structure for Heidegger in terms of metaphysical ontological existence is not reducible to the sentence structure, hence sort of in a contemporary sense the cognitive linguistic modes of understanding. You can't reduce existence to language, right? You just can't do it. Some people will say true, some people will say false. I wish Heidegger would have said it in the sense that was easy. It took me like 3 hours to recognize what the hell he was talking about, but he is rather genius. It's not that what Heidegger is saying is BS, it's just that what he's saying is so profoundly dense and complex. So far I've been able to make sense of him, but it's arduous work. It's arduous work. I'm going to pause the camera right now so I don't lose battery. I'll come back and finish up 4 and 5, and then we'll end this section. Alright, I changed the battery, so let's get back. We're at number 4. Here's a quote from Heidegger. Quote, the thing is nothing but the unity of a manifold of what is given in the senses. However, that's me, much closer to us than all sensations are the things themselves. What is consistent in a thing lies in fact that matter stands together with form. This is the Aristotelian bit that I was talking about earlier, right? That matter stands together with form. The thing is formed by matter, right? So, very, very dense. Let's go through this bit slowly. This is on page 91 of the text. The thing is nothing but the unity of a manifold of what is given in the senses. A unity of the manifold of what is given in the senses. He'll discuss this in more detail later, and actually I can probably erase some of this stuff. Sorry, kitty. Kitty's got to go bye-bye. But a unity of the manifold of what is given in the senses. So we have the perceiver here, right? And the thing is nothing but the unity of a manifold of what is given in the senses. We have the thing in the objective world, right? And this thing projects information so that we have an idea of the thing. Imagine we're not talking about art now and the creation of a thing, but our recognition of the thing projects sense data, and it's through the sense data that we interpret the nature of the thing. Epistemologically speaking, this is where George Berkeley, he goes crazy with this, and he makes the rather insane, absolute, and it's one of my favorite of all time epistemological derivations, that all that exists is mind, right? There is a reality that exists independent to the material world, because Berkeley says, in this sense, well, if everything comes back to the perceiver, and that the thing is really just a manifold of sort of our cognitive processing of sense data, then for all practical purposes, there's no way to experience a mind-independent reality. We don't have cognitive ability to experience a mind-independent reality. Thus, all of reality is mind-dependent, which is a leap that you don't necessarily have to take, that Berkeley does take. And Berkeley's sort of conceptualization of this is understood in what's known as subjective idealism, right? So Berkeley basically constructs the most amazing subjective idealism, which infuriates all of Western analytic tradition. But I think it's a genius move, and still to this day, no one's disproven Berkeley, right? G.E. Moore will get frustrated with the notion of whether or not he has a left hand, but the idea is you can just sort of stomp your fist on a table. You can't really disprove Berkeley. There really isn't a means of disproving him. His argument's genius. How do you demonstrate mind-independent existence? You don't, because we have minds, right? It's rather amazing. There might be a possibility with higher understanding of AI and the role of artificial intelligence, possibly, but I don't want to get into that because it's not an epistemology lecture. So, number 4, the thing is nothing but the unity, right, of a manifold of what is given, which is why the arrows go this way, what is given to the senses. However, much closer to us than all sensations are the things themselves, right? The thing themselves, according to Heidegger, is much closer to us than the sensation of the thing. What is consistent in a thing lies in the fact that matter stands together with form. So that this thing here now, if we were to look at the thing, the form of x is equal to the function of x, and obviously the matter plus matter. This is actually all Aristotelian. You know, I would love to say that Heidegger's a genius for this, but there's no novelty in this at all. This is like copy and paste of Aristotle. Substance is form plus matter, right? So that substantial world, the corporeal world for Aristotle, is a combination of form plus matter, form in terms of function. Heidegger's not saying anything different. He might not use the term substance per se, but the thing, right, this combination is the thing. So we're talking about the external world, we're talking about the reception and processing of sense data. That reception and processing of sense data allows me to, epistemologically speaking, understand the existence of the thing. Heidegger says that that thing, whatever that thing might be, is a combination of form plus matter. The form of x, whatever x is the function that x serves. The matter, obviously, is the stuff, the properties and their arrangement around the core of the thing, which is always already given, so that we can talk about the thing as the function of x plus the matter, right? So if we're talking about art now, we recognize that the matter is the easy stuff to understand. It's the colors, it's the geometrical figures, and I'm looking this way because my picture's there. But we're looking at the colors, we're looking at the geometric arrangement, we're talking about the material, we're talking about blah, 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 blah. The function in art is, again, the point. And that's the million-dollar question, which I'm not going to answer in this section. But what is the function of art? Right? So to read Heidegger again, after having explained all of this, hopefully it makes more sense, profoundly abstractly dense, the thing is nothing more but the unity of the manifold of what is given to the sense. However, much closer to us than all sensations are the things themselves. What is consistent in a thing lies in the fact that matter stands together with form. The thing is formed by matter. Heidegger later describes form. He says, the form determines the arrangement of matter, the way in which matter is arranged. I think it would be grossly incorrect to assume that Heidegger means form in this very sort of trivial sense that it is, though it is the case that he does obviously mean you take stuff and you use it, you form it into the shape of a chair, and because you've formed stuff into the shape of a chair, its form, its it's